What is up, Jamie?
Good morning, or good afternoon, rather.
Yeah, it's 1:30 p.m. on Friday the 1st, right?
Yes.
Friday the 1st. Numbers matter, dates matter, but what really matters is continuity and the truth. Why? Because when you talk about numbers, dates, and all that stuff, there are so many different variables to the context of what you talk about. So, for example, dates. Dates, if you miss a contract date or a court date, it's a stressful date. If you have a birthday or an anniversary or even a graduation where you get the fuck out of a useless town, it's a great day. But when it comes to ideologies, you're really not talking about numbers. You're really just talking about unquantifiable things. And the reason why I say this is because over the course of the next, right now it's 1:30 p.m. I'm going to stop at around 10 p.m. But over the course of the next 8 hours or so, I'll film a lot of content that I'm going to be able to disseminate in a coherent and logical fashion for a few reasons. Number one, I don't know, today is May 1st?
Today's May 1st, yes.
Right?
I didn't know where you were, where you were going with that head.
Today is May 1st, 2026. So for the next 2 years, I will be working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, unless I'm with my boys or I am busy, I guess, like court or something like that. But the reason why I say this is because what I'm going to be doing is simply showing everyone that human beings, first off, this, in case anyone's wondering, well, let's start this episode right.
You are delightful.
All right. Repetitive, but still cute. Now, Matthew Rose is a great friend of mine. My name is Dan Reeses. People call me Reese all the time. My favorite actor currently in Hollywood that's new is named Matthew Reese. Coincidence? Most likely. But when you look at the sheer facts behind what's going on, it's a little bit nauseating.
The coincidences?
To say the least. So, for example, yesterday, Jamie and I were in the city working. When we were in traffic, we were talking about a movie star. Who were we talking about?
We were talking about Joey Lawrence.
We spent about a good 45 minutes
Easily.
talking about Joey Lawrence.
Yes.
And etrogs. And the reason why I say that is because etrogs are part of the citrus family. It's this obscure... By the way, I'm wearing sunglasses because my eyes hurt. And it's not smart if you have the opportunity to save your retinas to make decisions based on the way people perceive you. So there's a very common misconception behind tattoos, which is people with tattoos are not functioning members of society. It's true.
What? Stop.
There are. What are you talking about? What's the point of the tattoo if you're not going to be a standout and things like that? You know, can you imagine a president with a neck tattoo?
But like...
Can you imagine a president? Exactly.
Imagine.
And you started laughing. The reason why she started laughing is because there is a certain semblance of acceptability in tattoos from the 80s and 90s that simply the standard is not there. You could easily have a president covered in tattoos. And the reason why I say that is because a tattoo is nothing more than ink.
Yeah.
The concept of judging a human being by the color of their skin or by the choices that they made to change the color of their skin is just as laughable as judging a person not by the color of their skin.
That's true.
Meaning, like, to judge anyone for any topical reason is laughable.
Right.
So to pick and choose tattoos, not tattoos, black, white, not white, the whole thing is laughable.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. That makes sense. I guess when you said non-functioning member of society,
I said this because that's what people think. I didn't say that's what I think, and I didn't say that it's reality. I said that there's a lot of there's people there's people who believe in sacrificing small children to appease a god that they don't have proof of. there are people that believe in things that you wouldn't believe. How's
Sure.
that?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
back on the sunglasses thing. So what I was basically saying is, please don't let misconceptions of human beings who choose to cover their retinas in order to avoid detection of some perception of red eyes for marijuana or dilation of pupils. You know, the sniffling accountant is one of the best. So here you go. See this? This is a decapon. This is one of the most fascinating things in this world to me. The reason why it's so fascinating, I'll get into in a little bit, and I don't have that much time, but I will when I'm doing my night job. And the reason for that is because there are many people who misunderstand the concept of work. The reality of the way I work is I use my brain and I run calculations and scenarios. Those calculation scenarios are then played out. The majority of the time that I get frustrated at the world around me is that people don't understand that what I do generates a massive amount of money if I'm able to be left alone. So the stresses that they have are really correlated directly to their actions. Now that I've been able to do something really, really important, a lot of the stress has been taken off of me so I could finally work the 7-day-a-week schedule that I'm really have been used to for the better part of my life. We were talking about Joey Lawrence, and we were talking about how as a child star, and we had this long, elaborate conversation that's not going to be repeated, but at the end of the day, after we were done with the day and took a break,
Mind you, you and I speak a lot about movies, and we've been friends known each other for a long time.
Yeah,
So,
we're not
like,
friends. I don't
we've
want anyone
known each
please, don't
Okay.
publicly throw that out there. You are a temporary co-host that is on a 7-year contract so far. That contract is on a day-by-day basis. I just want everyone to be clear. Ms. Resnick has vested partnership interests that have nothing to do with her employment, but her employment is on a day-by-day, at-will basis, okay? In case anyone's wondering about that. And it looks like your contract's going to be extended for a few more days.
For at least a couple days. But like in all of our extensive conversations about movies and actors, we have never not once spoken about this actor. Never.
Well, actor. And the reason why I say that is because
Ever.
if anyone's ever seen the Joey Lawrence of the Johnny Carson skit, the human being is talent is an understatement.
Seriously.
I mean, like when you have an impression of a child star, if you don't have that image in your brain or that scene or the
whole thing,
general,
I knew it the second.
The general reality of the fact that skit is done live. Like as live as it can get, live on tape, you know. What I'm saying is like the cameras are rolling and that little boy is by himself there, okay?
100%.
And to do that at that age
is unbelievable.
It is.
I mean, that kid tap dancing, my head was popping.
I want to say something about that. If being an entrepreneur was like performing on stage, I was much more talented than Joey Lawrence when I was 6. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely.
Means my worst enemies, like my mom, who hates me more than anything, will tell you that no one could beat Daniel in Monopoly, or as a matter of fact, almost any game ever. So, yeah, seriously. I'm the youngest.
Except Scrabble, maybe.
I don't play Scrabble.
Exactly.
It's not even a joke. Spelling and I do not get along. One of the things people need to understand is that being really intelligent is both a gift and a curse. And one of the biggest curses is that we live in a world where spell check was invented long before I was yelled at for not knowing how to spell. So when you have a computer, which is pretty modern, you have those squiggly lines underneath the word processor, a human being like myself, who at the age of 6 knows that it just takes a few more years and this shit will work by itself. So to have that human being be taught something that I mentally cannot justify in my brain as like, imagine if your brain is like a disk drive, like a hard drive,
I got
and
it.
you're just trying to insert like a 90s floppy disk into like a wireless
into a USB port.
Fuck USB, it's a wireless tap port, you know, like you just have to tap, takes credit cards, definitely cash, but like you just tap right into it and you're just like Why is my entire book that I wrote in 1988 not working? You understand?
Yes.
That's the equivalent of teaching Dan Reese's spelling after his father buys him a computer and shows him that there's something called spell check. You might as well be yelling at me in a foreign language of how to learn English. You had a better chance.
I feel like that sometimes when I talk to you. Like, I'm like, does not compute.
So I'll tell you something. Like, the sad reality is that being an entrepreneur / good at math / making money is far more valuable in our society than being very talented on stage. Do you agree?
Yeah.
That's the sad part of this whole thing. The happy part of this is the majority of the time I've been in control of my own narratives, and I've been able to really write my own ticket because I'm extremely good at what I do. So I don't rely on a whole circus of a support system that makes decisions on my behalf, at which point causes me to be confused. Like, one of the reasons why Keanu Reeves was chosen in the role of I don't know, The Chosen, or I don't know, The Promise, the Compromise. I have no idea what the name of the movie is. And there's a Matt Bomer side story that I'll get into in a little bit because I'm so fucking pissed at Matt Bomer for pretending to be straight for no reason whatsoever. But we'll get into that in a little bit because Jonah and I would jog, and I had a buddy of mine, Jonah Bloom. He's good at his job. You can look him up. He was a big runner. I hate running, but I liked him a lot and wanted to spend time with him. So, like, I would break off from running and I would invent stories, but in reality, I was just checking out the set, and Matt Bomer was talking to me, and I had no idea that he was a flaming homosexual, and he was pretending to be straight, and I didn't even understand what the fuck he was talking to me about because I thought that I was talking about like being like part of movies and stuff like that. But after watching that movie, I realized that Matt Bomer was pretending to be straight to have a conversation with me, which begs the question of why anyone would need to do that. And you know what? Unfortunately, I've been hit on a lot by a lot of gay dudes for misunderstanding me that I'm the Floyd Smyrnich of angry Jewish fucking Bradley Cooper, Zach Galifianakis looking motherfuckers. I'm a heterosexual man. But that doesn't mean I'm not nice to gay dudes that, you know, need a little bit of affection or some form of like communication and things like that. I'm very solid in my masculinity. But when Matt Bomer pretended to be straight or bisexual, whatever the fuck it was, to have a normal few conversations, and I saw in the movie exactly the way he acted, I realized how women feel that are objectified by men who pretend to be nice guys just to get into their pants. It is the concept of not being yourself to get what you want on a sexual level. And it is gross, and I didn't realize what was going on until I saw the movie, and that's why I'm pissed at Matt Bomer. I'm even more pissed at Jonah for thinking everything was okay, because I would confide in him, and whatever, it doesn't matter. I never hooked up with Matt Bomer. I never even saw Matt Bomer anywhere except during the filming of White Collar. And I'm so frustrated at myself for being a fucking idiot as always and being so distracted by my love of movies and not realizing what was going on. And this is a fucking seedless orange, in case you can't.
You're so angry.
I am. I'm really fucking angry. You have no idea. Because Jonah knows the story, and like I think now.
Well, once it hit you, you got really pissed.
Anyways, the reason why the movie works is because Keanu Reeves is the world's best confused man. If you need a guy to be like, what? like on an Oscar level,
It's so true.
You understand? So his confusion stems from the fact that he's like, I've been working for 40 years straight without a break, and you know, like it's very similar to what I say, but the difference between myself and Keanu Reeves is he is not able to let go of his high school and his support system from when he was a kid, because he doesn't know who to trust, who not to trust, because everyone meets the kid that performed on stage and is so immensely talented that they don't actually realize that he's a human being. They see him as this orange right here, okay? Aren't you glad you know Keanu? And
Aren't you glad you know Keanu? I like that.
You know, I think there was like a cat movie named Keanu once. Anyways, the point with like Key and Peele were in. The point of everything that I'm saying right here is that when you're a human being that's identified to be special for some reason at an early age, you don't actually get a chance to be yourself. You have to constantly be performing, or else human beings no longer see the value in you. And once you recognize that, it's a very difficult existence. So for me, believe me, I'm not rich or famous, and I'm very happy with my life. But I'm really, really good at what I just said. And it really crystallized in the form of something called applied mathematics and game theory, which I eventually was able to have the balls to publicly talk about. Granted, like everything else, I was right and should have kept it in the pants and kept my mouth shut. But now that the cat's out of the bag and the references have come to an apex, I need to express to everyone that what you will see over the next 48 hours is truly, really, really cool. I won't be able to produce it or have it up until Sunday night, so please give me a chance, because there's going to be a series of unpublished videos that I'll need to film over the next hour or so to get out all the work in order to document the state of affairs as they currently stand. Because please remember, as everyone is watching this, they're used to sending out emails, text messages, using their mouth. That is a very, very old form of communication in today's world. What I do is par for the world that we live in, because human beings that are children will tell you in 2 seconds that unless it's documented, recorded, digitized, and submitted, it never happened. And the reason for that is because we live in a digital world. So it doesn't matter how many analogies, parallels, paradigms, unless you understand that the entire concept of Pandora's box exists only because in your brain you see the word paradox, you won't actually understand that 50 years ago people knew math, and the word paradox is not something you need to explain to them. Education has declined to a point that most people do not know the word paradox
At all.
and that's a paradox.
Got it.
Because we live in a society with infinite knowledge in their pockets. Pandora's box is a concept that people understand.
It is, yes.
A paradox is not a concept people understand.
Correct.
The words exist in perpetuity to one another.
Got it.
No one can look at the word paradox, look at the word Pandora's box and say, holy shit. I mean, no one can
not look.
Paradox. Paradigm. Not the same thing. Applied mathematics. Super important. Intellectual property. Just as important. Game theory. Very important. Like, unless you don't want to make money or survive, God forbid, a war. Not start a war, but survive a war. And that's really like, Jamie was talking to me about martial arts. I'm like, look, first thing I'm going to tell you is how to run. How to get the fuck away from danger. It's a big part of the movies that they don't... Tom Cruise is good at it. You see him running all the time.
Yes, I said I would just get my inner Tom Cruise.
There should be a movie or a show where like the main character is just constantly running away from whatever issue it is, so people learn that the best way to deal with conflict that it's really dangerous is to run away.
Exactly.
I promise you, if you guys see Jamie running, that's because like in the next 30 seconds to a minute, something horrible is about to happen. And she's been taught to just run away. Option 2 is obviously negotiate, buy for more time until I show up. That's option 2. But all joking aside, this orange right here, I filmed an incredible segment once with Bart Sadowski, Lenny Dykstra, and who else was in the car? Somebody great was in the car. I want to say either Levy or Pete or... I have no idea. Maybe Jim. Like, I have no idea who was in the car, but it was an incredible car ride. And I got Lenny to go into the stream of consciousness about the Decopon. And the reason why I have this orange up here is multifaceted. Number one, the whole etrog concept is the same thing as making this product no longer holy if it's missing this little pipka here, okay? The concept of a lemon, a fancy lemon that tastes like shit, costing $180, which is what Jamie Googled was the price if you wanted to buy one.
I think it was, I don't know, was
is sacrilegious to a society of humans that preach that equality and taking care of thy brother and thy neighbor is good, to be so wasteful that the wealthy are able to practice their religion Because how, if you're poor, can you buy a $180 non-functioning lemon and justify it?
Yeah.
Okay? The other thing about this orange that's really, really fascinating is, and a lot of people don't understand the difference between a decapon and a seedless orange and all that other stuff, and I can get into all of that later into the entomology of this fruit, but this is one of the most fascinating business concepts. Like, look, I know a lot of people on YouTube like to make statements about things that they know and don't know. I know that a lot of people won't believe me when I say this, but my father was one of the pioneering founders of the quarter chicken trade, which is essentially trading of dark meat chicken for white meat chicken for countries that prefer dark meat versus countries like America that prefer white meat. That's it. But it's a really big deal, and it is a $1 trillion shift in the paradigm of our macro economy. You might trade yourself. Nice catch. See, reflexes, they're not deniable. Jamie's a really good fucking tennis player. And I'm curious to see if Jamie would beat Danielle Schwartz in a tennis match. The whole point of this orange is that if you're a human who doesn't like seeds in an orange, we live in a world where every citrus tree that is making oranges that have seeds in it can be converted into this product by other trees being grown, and then obviously the, changing of the trees. But they don't. And you know why?
Why?
Because if oranges didn't have seeds, orange juice would not be purchased. Because the reality and the popularity of orange juice only exists because you can't get that flavor in a normal orange. And then frozen concentrate orange juice, which is one of the most stable commodities, trading places, will greatly be affected. So this company, the inventor of this, was blackballed from the industry and this and that.
Wow, really?
And no one was able to figure out why. Obviously, the cost of an orange that's a solid 7 out of 10 with no pits, it's going to be much more than the cost. But only Whole Foods has the real decapons, and only once a year. So,
Do you know who invented this?
Yeah, I looked into it. Some Japanese/Floridian man. It's a hybrid. It's a really very, 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 very hotly contested history, because obviously the Florida Citrus Growers Union is not like, the local Boy Scout chapter. This is a powerhouse.
It's really delicious. It does not have the flavor of an orange. It almost tastes like a tangerine orange mix.
It's actually better.
Yeah. It's like got a subtle flavor. It's not overpowering.
The point of the story is, we live in a world of lies. You guys want to be lied to? Every other creator, every other communicator, every other channel, I assure you, is a huge pile of bullshit. The ones that are honest are generated by artificial intelligence that takes content from other sources and splices it together. Most of the human beings that you follow don't actually exist, or else they would age / not be worthy of investment, since God forbid they died. The brands they are associated with would die with them.
Yeah, wow.
Ta-da! Welcome to the world of today. My name is Daniel M. Reeses. If you want oranges without pits, unfortunately, you're going to have to pay a price for it. In this channel, you can only pay for it one way, with time.